Pay attention to the CCTV footage. October 12th, 3:15 p.m. A delivery truck pulls into the driveway of a beige ranch-style house on the outskirts of Bakersfield, California. The driver steps out, gray uniform, package under her arm, scanner in her hand. Her name is Maria Chen. She is 29 years old, single mother of two, 6 years with the same delivery company. This is stop number 38 of her Thursday route. She walks up the front path, steps onto the porch, rings the doorbell. The door opens. A white male, late 30s, stands in the doorway. He is smiling. Watch carefully. He gestures inside. Maria hesitates for exactly 3 seconds. Then she nods. Then she steps through that doorway. The door closes behind her. That is the last time anyone sees Maria Chen alive. What you are looking at is 16 seconds of footage from a neighbor's security camera positioned across the street. 16 seconds. That is all we have. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you what happened after that door closed. The question is not what happened to Maria. The question is, how many times had this man done this before? And when you see what investigators found in that abandoned storage facility 9 days later, you will understand why this case changed protocol for every delivery driver in the state of California. Here is what everyone assumed at first. Maria Chen, experienced driver, makes a routine stop, accepts an invitation inside. Robbery gone wrong. Maybe she saw something she should not have. Maybe the homeowner panicked. Wrong place, wrong time, random. The kind of tragedy that happens in a country this size. That is what local police believed for the first 48 hours. That is what the news reported. That is what everyone assumed. Wrong. This was not random. This was not a robbery. And it had nothing to do with what Maria saw or did not see. Because the man who opened that door, the man with a smile, the man who offered Maria a bottle of water on a Thursday afternoon in October, had been waiting for exactly this moment. His name was Derek Hoffman. 38 years old, never married, no children, worked as a freelance IT consultant from home. To his neighbors, he was quiet, polite, kept to himself. The kind of man you would never look twice at. The kind of man who waves from his driveway when you jog past. The kind of man who said 5 words that ended a life. Come in, cool off. Let me tell you about Maria first, because she deserves that. She deserves to be more than a victim in a statistic. Maria grew up in Fresno, graduated from Edison High School, worked retail for 4 years before getting the delivery job. At 22, she had her first daughter, Sophie. Then came her son, Lucas, 3 years later. When Maria got the delivery route, she told her mother it was perfect. Monday through Friday, home by 6:30 p.m. weekends with her kids. She knew every street in Kern County. She memorized the names of customers who ordered regularly. Mrs. Patterson on Oak always had cookies waiting for her during holidays. Mr. Diaz on Cedar needed help with heavy boxes because of his bad back. Maria never rushed. She took time. 6 years. 60 stops a day, 5 days a week. This was not just a job. This was how Maria built connection, community, trust. And on October 12th at 3:15 p.m., that trust killed her. Now, let me tell you about Derek Hoffman. But not everything. Not yet. Because what you need to understand first is how someone like Derek becomes invisible. He bought that house in Bakersfield 5 years ago. Cash purchase, no mortgage. The previous owners were an elderly couple who moved to Arizona. Derek kept the house exactly as they left it. Same exterior paint, same landscaping, same welcome mat on the porch. He attended neighborhood meetings. Not everyone, just enough to be seen. He nodded at neighbors. He brought in his trash cans on time. He even volunteered at the community cleanup day once. Nice guy, the neighbors said. Quiet but nice. But here is what none of them knew. Derek had a room in his garage, behind a false wall built to look like storage shelving. And inside that room, there were things that would later make an FBI agent with 19 years' experience stop the interview and walk outside. We will get to that room. But first, remember this. Derek had been a member of an online group for 5 years. The name of that group does not matter. What matters is what they believed. And what they believed was that delivery drivers were easy targets. Vulnerable, alone, predictable. Derek did not just believe this. He discussed it. He planned for it. He prepared. The house in Bakersfield was not random. The cash purchase was not convenience. The location was chosen because the nearest neighbor was 250 feet away and delivery trucks came through 4 times per week. The footage from across the street is grainy, low resolution, shot from a Ring doorbell position on a house 190 feet away. But it shows enough. Maria's truck enters a frame. She parks in the driveway, gets out, package underarm, scanner in hand, standard procedure. She has done this 38 times today. She walks up to the front door, rings the bell, waits. 8 seconds pass. The door opens. Derek appears. Even at this distance, you can see him smile. You can see him gesture inward, casual, friendly. Maria does not move for a moment. That moment lasts exactly 3 seconds. Then she shifts her weight. She nods. She steps forward. The door closes. 3:15 and 47 seconds p.m. Remember that timestamp because in 9 days, investigators will need to calculate exactly how long Maria Chen was alive after that door closed. The answer will haunt them. Here is what the cameras did not capture. Derek's kitchen. A bottle of water already chilled. A glass already set on the counter. The water had something in it. Investigators would later identify it as a veterinary sedative, easy to obtain online, undetectable by taste or smell. Takes effect in 5 to 8 minutes. Derek knew this because he had researched it for months. He knew the dosage. He knew the timing. He knew exactly how long he had before Maria would start feeling dizzy. 6 minutes of conversation. Just enough time to seem normal, to seem friendly, to seem like exactly the kind of person you would accept water from on a hot Thursday afternoon in California. Maria never made it to the next stop on her route, stop 39. Mr. Torres on Maple Street. He had ordered replacement parts for his lawnmower. He waited until 5:30 p.m. Then he called the delivery company. "Where's my package?" The dispatcher checked the system. Maria's last scan delivery was at 3:08 p.m. stop 37, 7 minutes before she arrived at Derek's house. The package for Derek was never scanned as delivered. Dispatcher called Maria's phone. No answer. Called again. No answer. At 7 p.m., Maria's mother called the company. Maria never picked up the kids from daycare. At 8:15 p.m., she filed a missing person report. At 9:45 p.m., officers found Maria's truck parked in the driveway of a beige ranch-style house on the outskirts of Bakersfield. The house was dark. No one answered the door. They ran the plates. Derek Hoffman. No criminal record, no warrants, no red flags. They left a note on the door. "Please contact Bakersfield PD regarding a vehicle on your property." They drove away. Remember that. They drove away because at that moment Maria Chen was still alive. She was in a storage facility 17 miles east, and Derek Hoffman was not alone with her. 2 days passed. Derek did not contact police. He did not answer his door. His car was gone. Neighbors said they had not seen him since Thursday afternoon. On day 3, investigators obtained a warrant. They entered the house. Water bottle still on the counter, glass in the sink with residue that later tested positive for the sedative. They found the garage. They found the room behind the false wall. What they found inside that room changed everything about how they understood Derek Hoffman. Photographs, hundreds of them printed, organized in binders. Women, all of them delivery drivers. All photographed from a distance without their knowledge. Some were taken through car windows, some through storefront glass, some from parking lots. Each photo had a date, a location, a description of the vehicle, license plates, routes. The oldest photo was dated 8 years ago. Different state, different city. Derek had been collecting for nearly a decade. But here is what made investigators stop breathing. Some of the photos had red X marks through them. 11 photos total. 11 different women spanning 6 years. And Maria's photo was on the wall, dated 2 weeks before October 12th. No X through it yet. The next 48 hours became the largest manhunt in Kern County history. Derek's car was found abandoned at a rest stop near the Nevada border. But Derek was not in Nevada. Cell tower records placed his phone in a rural area 17 miles east of Bakersfield, an area with one notable feature, an abandoned self-storage facility that had been closed since 2020. On day 9, they found it. They found Derek's sedan parked behind the building. They found evidence of recent activity, tire tracks, footprints, and they found Maria. What they found I cannot describe in detail. What I can tell you is this. She had been alive for at least 5 days after that door closed. The medical examiner's report noted injuries consistent with prolonged torture. But Maria was not alone in that storage facility. There was evidence of multiple people, at least 2, different boot prints, different cigarette brands, different DNA profiles on objects left behind. Derek Hoffman was arrested at a motel in Reno 4 days later. He was not hiding. He was waiting. When officers approached his door, he smiled. The same smile from the CCTV footage. He did not resist. He did not speak. He handed them a burner phone. On that phone were 53 minutes of video. I cannot tell you what was on that video. I can tell you that 2 of the investigators who watched it took medical leave and never returned to duty. I can tell you that the prosecution played 2 minutes of audio during the trial with the screen turned away from the jury, and 4 jurors had to be excused. Derek had recorded everything, not because he was stupid, because he was proud, because this was not the first time, and because he wanted someone to know what they were capable of. During interrogation, Derek gave investigators 2 names. 2 men who had been in that storage facility with him, both members of the same online group, both believers in the same ideology, both participants in what Derek called hunting operations. Those 2 men were arrested within 36 hours. Their homes were searched. In one home, they found a similar collection of photographs. 19 photos, 5 with red X marks. In another home, they found journals, detailed entries spanning 3 years, names, dates, locations. The second man's computer contained communication logs with 11 other members of the group across 5 states. The FBI took over the case. What started as one missing delivery driver in California became a federal investigation spanning nearly a decade of activity across the American West. Here is what the trial revealed. Derek had done this before, at least once, possibly more. The photos with X marks corresponded to missing person cases that had gone cold. One in Oregon 2019, one in Arizona 2021. Both women, both delivery workers, both cases where the body was never found. Derek never confessed to these specifically, but DNA evidence linked him to a vehicle found abandoned in rural Oregon 4 years ago. A vehicle that belonged to a 27-year-old Amazon driver named Jennifer Walsh, who disappeared after her last delivery on a Thursday afternoon in June 2019. Jennifer's body has never been recovered. Neither has the body of Christina Martinez, 31, FedEx driver from Phoenix, who vanished in September 2021 after her route took her through a rural subdivision 35 miles from the city. Her truck was found. Her body was not. Derek smiled when these names were mentioned in court. The same smile, always the same smile. Derek Hoffman was convicted on 12 charges, including first-degree murder, kidnapping, conspiracy, and federal enhancements. He received 5 consecutive life sentences with no possibility of parole. His 2 accomplices received sentences ranging from 40 years to life. But here's what the conviction cannot fix. The online group still exists. Different name now, different platform, but the same 11 members in 5 states that investigators identified have never been charged. The evidence was circumstantial. The communication log suggested knowledge, but not participation. They are still out there. They are still planning. And delivery drivers still make stops at houses in rural California every single day. Maria's mother gave one interview after the trial. Just one. She said she thinks about October 12th constantly. She thinks about the 3 seconds Maria hesitated on that porch. She thinks about what would have happened if she had said no thank you and walked back to her truck. She thinks about the 38 stops she made before that one, and how every single homeowner had been kind and normal and human. She thinks about how 6 years of positive interactions taught her daughter to trust, to see good in people, to accept water from a stranger on a hot afternoon. She said the hardest part is not the grief. The hardest part is raising 2 children without their mother in a world where that kindness can kill you. Sophie is 10 now. She says she wants to help people like her mom did. Maria's mother does not know how to tell her that the same job that supported her family is the reason her mother never came home. The delivery company changed protocols after Maria's case. Drivers are now instructed to never enter a customer's home for any reason. GPS tracking is monitored in real time. Any stop exceeding 8 minutes triggers an automatic check-in. These are good changes. They might save lives. But here's what they cannot change. Derek Hoffman spent 5 years identifying potential victims. He studied routes. He learned patterns. He chose locations specifically because they were isolated. He did not need Maria to come inside. That was just preference. If Maria had said no, he would have waited for the next driver or the one after that, or he would have found another way. Because for people like Derek, this is not impulse. This is ideology. This is mission. And no company protocol can protect against someone who believes that hunting you is a righteous act. Remember the 11 photos with X marks? Only 3 have been connected to confirmed cases. That leaves 8. 8 women who disappeared over a 6-year period. 8 families still waiting for answers. 8 bodies that might be buried in rural fields or abandoned buildings or places no one will ever think to look. Derek knows where they are. He has not said. His 2 accomplices know some of them. They have not said either. They have no incentive to talk. They are already serving maximum sentences. What would cooperation give them? Nothing. So, they stay silent. And those 8 families stay trapped in an endless present tense, not knowing, never knowing. Is she alive somewhere? Is she dead? Will we ever bury her? Will we ever say goodbye? If you work delivery routes in rural America, I need you to understand something. Maria did nothing wrong. She was friendly. She was professional. She trusted her instincts. And her instinct said, this man is safe. Because every signal pointed that way. Clean house, welcome mat, friendly smile, cold water on the counter. Nothing about Derek Hoffman suggested danger. That was the entire point. He had spent years perfecting the appearance of normal. And he is not the only one. The FBI investigation identified 11 other members of groups with similar ideologies who have expressed intent to target delivery workers specifically. They see the uniform as both symbol and opportunity. The truck arrives alone. The driver approaches alone. No witnesses, no backup, just trust. Maria's route number was retired after her death. No other driver will ever make those 60 stops in that sequence again. Her truck was decommissioned. Her locker at the distribution center has been turned into a memorial with photos and cards from customers who remembered her. Mrs. Patterson still makes cookies every holiday season. She leaves them on her porch in case a delivery driver needs them. She says it helps her feel like Maria is still out there somewhere finishing her route. This is what happened to Maria Chen. This is what 16 seconds of CCTV captured. This is what a bottle of water offered by a smiling man costs a family. If you have ever accepted a drink from a stranger, if you have ever stepped inside a home because someone seemed nice, if you have ever trusted your instinct about a person you did not know, remember this. Derek Hoffman seemed nice, too. And somewhere right now, someone just like him is smiling at a delivery driver, standing on their porch, asking themselves, should I go inside? The answer should always be no. But Maria said yes because she was kind, because she was trusting, because 6 years of experience told her people are mostly good. She was right about that. Most people are good, but it only takes one who is not. One smile, one bottle of water, one moment of trust, and then 9 days in a storage facility with men who believe you are nothing more than prey. Share this video. Tell people about Maria because the protocol changes and the GPS tracking and the company memos cannot do what awareness can. They cannot make someone pause before they step through that door. Only stories like this one can do that. Maria deserved better. Her family deserves answers. And every delivery driver in America deserves to come home.